Let's talk about Pam Bondi because at this point, I don't even want a press conference. I want her hands checked for black Sharpie ink. Because the woman who told us the Epstein files were on her desk has now seemingly vanished. And when public officials disappear right after promising transparency, people start filling in the blanks. Here's my theory. Pam Bondi is holed up somewhere, furiously redacting the Epstein files, scrubbing out any mention of Donald Trump or Republicans who might be inconvenient to their movement. And here's the irony about mass redactions. The more people you hire to do them, the more whistleblowers you create. So every extra staffer is another liability. I can see her now in my mind's eye sitting at a desk, sweating and cursing to herself for ever letting herself get to this point. Now let's talk about what is showing up in these files because it's almost parody at this point. Now, exactly 0 people on earth are surprised to see Bill Clinton in these files. But then we fast forward to Trump and we're told the files are fake, not even real, a hoax, a nothing burger. Yet somehow now the names that do appear are Democrats and public critics of Trump. Richard Branson, Woody Allen, Noam Chomsky, all adamant critics of Trump, all showing up in this release. And I'm not supposed to notice a pattern here? It's funny how the hoax keeps punching in only one direction. And even the files that were released, pages and pages completely blacked out. Then, mysteriously, some of those released files were later removed entirely. Deleted. Gone. And that's not transparency, that's revision. And it's defrauding the American people. So now let's walk through the timeline because this is where it gets really embarrassing for Trump. First, Trump campaigns on releasing the Epstein files. Then Pam Bondi says they're on my desk. Then suddenly they don't exist. Then they exist again, but now they're a Democrat hoax. Then Trump says he barely knew that creep Epstein, despite exhaustive evidence to the contrary. Then he says releasing the files could hurt a lot of people. So which is it? And then MAGA Mike Johnson blocks a vote to release them by shutting down the Republican-controlled House, refusing to swear in Grijalva, and freezing the process. Then the delays, missed deadlines, lawful orders ignored. Then you have Megyn Kelly out here trying to get in front of it by redefining to the public what a minor even is. And finally, at the last possible moment, we get a carefully curated trickle, heavily redacted, selectively released, and somehow containing nothing that reflects badly on Trump. Until someone realizes they missed a few things and oops, they delete, they backpedal, they call it a hoax again. Trump stops answering questions about it, and I'm sure any day now we'll see Bondi reappear, hopefully not too disheveled, and we're supposed to believe this is all normal. If there were truly nothing here, the solution would be simple. Release everything. Clean, complete, unredacted. The fact that they won't tells us everything that we need to know. So we need accountability, because this doesn't end with silence. Congress needs subpoenas, not excuses. Oversight isn't partisan, it's mandatory. And if people can't comply with lawful orders, then they need to be held in contempt and they need to go to fucking jail. We need media pressure. The press needs to stop treating this like gossip and start treating it like obstruction, because that's what it is. And this is to anyone thinking about becoming a whistleblower. If you worked on those redactions and you know something was buried, history is kind to whistleblowers, not to accomplices. We will make sure that you're protected and we'll even start a GoFundMe for you. And to the voters, especially in the upcoming midterms, remember this. When transparency is promised again, patterns don't lie. People do.